Hello and welcome everybody to the Trust Factor, the podcast that guarantees your success when you implement its divine age-old teachings. Today we wrap up chapter 6 and we move into probably what is the shortest chapter of the entire book, chapter 7. And that, my friends, concludes season 1 of the Trust Factor podcast. It's about to conclude very shortly. That will allow us to move into season 2. Very exciting, my friends. Lots of good things planned. You've seen that I'm putting my money where my mouth is. We've taken this podcast from its infancy, not that long ago, just back in March, where it's sometimes hard to go back and listen to some of those early podcasts. I was just figuring this thing out. Slowly but surely, my friends, we are getting there. You see that I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm moving this thing in the direction that it needs to go, and I'm only doing it because the road is open ahead of me. God is clearly at my back. He wants this to succeed. I want this to succeed, and God willing, we will. We're going to get into season 2, and it promises to be that much better. Let's get into the most important part of every single chapter, and that is the summary, the review. I know a lot of people don't like that, but I'm telling you, I know firsthand that the number one thing that you can do in your life to make your learning real and to ingrain it into your psyche is to repeat it. And believe it or not, even though a lot of this book has been repetitive in nature, it is that very thing that is going to make it real for you. And even the amount that we've reviewed it in this podcast is not enough. It's really not enough. This is a daily guide. This is a guide that everybody should have in their back pocket. Learn it every single day. If you can't learn it every day, every quarter, carve out some time, sit down with a different person. Maybe make it your spouse next time. After that, make it a child. After that, make it a coworker. And sit down and learn these ideas, because these are the things that are going to allow you to excel in life and everything that you do. The summary of chapter 6, my friends, is as follows. Chovot HaLevavot offers 7 arguments against people who, before dedicating themselves to God's service, they want God to provide a security deposit in the form of assets that they and their family can live off for the rest of their lives. Okay, just to be clear, these are the people that say, not now. Not now. I don't have time for God now. I don't have time. I can't afford to keep Shabbat. I can't afford to give away 10 or 20% of my earnings. I can't afford to take an hour a day or an hour and a half a day and dedicate it to personal prayer. I can't afford these things. Life is too demanding. There aren't enough hours in the day as it is. So now you're asking me to take more of my time, more of my resources, the things that are so badly needed, away from me and my family to dedicate to a concept of God that I can't see, I can't touch, I can't hear, I can't smell, I can't taste. None of my senses allow me to confirm that God is present. And yet you want me to dedicate so much time and energy and resources to Him? And the answer is yes, because you don't need your senses. The only thing you need to understand is that you have a brain and you have common sense and logic. And if you employ the common sense and the logic, just like Rabbi Saberman in his 60 years of Torah teaching and wisdom, just like he said, all you need is common sense and a little bit of knowledge. That's it to know that He runs this world. It is everywhere. And if you're not sure about that, reach out to me and I will give you more and more proof that will quell and put out any of the concerns or questions that you might have in that regard. Let's get into it. Number 1. Even a servant who demands a security for sustenance from his master is being disrespectful. One who makes such a demand from his creator is even more disrespectful. Know your position, my friend. Know who you are on the totem pole of life. Understand what authority you have and you don't have, so that you know who you're speaking to, right? Know where you stand. And when you do, then you'll be very careful when you tread in the presence of your Creator to make demands of Him that are unreasonable. Number 2, it is unreasonable to feel entitled to an unknown amount of security before beginning to serve Hashem. And with this approach, one will forever wait to serve Him, since no amount will ever be enough. We think this is a permanent existence. We think that we need more and more, and we're programmed that way to want always double of what we have. And in that vein, it means that we will never be content. We will never have enough to satisfy our needs, to convince ourselves it's good enough time now to take away and dedicate to his work. A person, number 3, a person is already indebted to God and is not capable of paying the debt. It would be shameful then to demand a security of more funds before engaging in his service. What's he talking about here? Why aren't we capable of paying the debt to Hashem? In this context, he's saying it because we are constantly indebted to him. He is always showering us with pleasures and with gifts and with life and with opportunities and with goodness, even when we are undeserving, even when we go against him. He still steps up and pumps our heart and fills our lungs and gives us vision and gives us hearing and gives us children and so on and so forth, even when we go against him. So you are always going to be indebted to him. Number 4, soliciting a security is disgraceful because it indicates a concern that Hashem, that God may not be able to provide when the need arises, heaven forbid. What you're saying to God is that he is no less than human, that just the same way a human being may not be able to repay you when the time comes, so too you think God is not trustworthy. It's shocking that somebody could think that way, but apparently there are people in this world who do. Number 5, it's pointless to solicit a security of future funds, for the funds might not remain in one's possession. And even if they do remain with him, they may bring him more emotional stress. You have no idea what awaits you around the corner. You have no clue that you're going to be able to hang on to these funds that you so desperately chase after. No guarantee that they're going to stay with you, because we all know the demand on you for your assets, for your cash, for the things that you work hard for ebbs and flows. Sometimes there's very little demand, and other times there is a tremendous amount. And you don't know what is awaiting you. That's number 5. Number 6 is that since God is so generous that he showers us with kindness even before we earn any reward, and in the world to come he rewards us much more than we deserve, it is ridiculous to request a security from him. It doesn't make sense. Bottom line, guys, think about this. You know this by now already, okay? Because we've talked about this so many times in so many different contexts. It just makes sense. Anybody who still thinks anywhere in your heart that it makes sense to make this demand from Hashem, considering who he is and what his role is in our life and who we are and what we're capable of, it's brazen, it's bold, it's not just pointless, but it's shameful. Really, I was going to say almost shameful, but there's no point in saying almost, just to placate the few people who have thin skin. It is shameful to request from God, who gives you life and all the beauty that goes with it every second of every day, to say, I need all my money and all my assets before I even venture into your lifestyle. And number 7, the final one, a security can be requested only by someone who has the ability to deliver the item that the security represents. Since a person is unable on his own to perform the mitzvahs, he has no right to solicit a security from God. Bottom line, if I desire to do his will, but he doesn't, I gave you the example of the blindfold. If God says, I'm going to stifle your growth, I'm going to stop you from growing because you're not deserving, God forbid 1,000,000 times, then it doesn't matter what effort and how determined you are, you will not do it. You will not live a life of godliness. You will not taste from the sweetness of what it means to live a godly life. And believe you me, it is sweet. It is the definition of sweetness. It is the definition of security. It is the definition of enjoyment, of peace of mind, of togetherness, of gratitude, of all the wonderful things that the world has to offer, that is locked up and hidden in this concept of being a Torah Jew, of living a life of purpose and meaning and following God's decrees. You do that, my friends, you win. But he has to allow it. If he doesn't allow it, then good luck to you, my friend. Don't postpone. Don't delay. Step up today while you still have a relationship, while he's still reaching out to you, while he's still reciprocating, and commit to a life of good, and everything will fall into place. Reminder, this coming Friday, Rabbi Glenn Black, NCSY, it's going to be an amazing one. You're not going to want to miss it. Thank you all for spending this time with us on the Trust Factor podcast. If you've heard something today that moved you, then save this episode and share it with someone who might need to hear it. And be sure to subscribe on any of the platforms so that you don't miss upcoming conversations that challenge, empower, and uplift. And if you're on social media, connect with us. Leave your thoughts. Drop a quote that resonated with you. Hashtag the Trust Factor podcast. Until next time, keep growing in your trust and keep living with purpose. I'm Jesse Revivo, and this has been the Trust Factor Podcast. Thanks for listening.